The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.
Welcome, honorable members, to this session of the People's Parliament here on NTV, a platform where Ugandans can express themselves and share views on issues that affect them and issues of national importance. Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of the People's Parliament, presides. Madam Speaker, the Uganda National Teachers Union announced a nationwide strike that took effect on the 18th of May this year, which also happened to be the first day of the second school term. The teachers are demanding to be paid a 10% salary increment, which is a balance of the 50% that government promised them in 2011. Government says there are more urgent priorities other than salaries and will only be able to pay this increment in the next financial year. I therefore beg to move the motion. Is government doing enough to improve teachers' welfare?
Those in favor, aye. To the contrary, no? Ayes have it. Welcome to NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kampala discussing a very important issue, a national issue that touches everybody in this country. Is government doing enough to address the welfare of teachers in this country? Is the motion of today. Honorable members, the teachers' issues for many years has now become public knowledge. Everybody knows how teachers have gone on strike, gone back to class, gone on strike, talked to President Yoweri Museveni, gone back to class. But the issues are still holding. So we are discussing this issue right now in this People's Parliament, the only platform that gives you an opportunity to have your say. So it's today that you're going to have your say. But before we get the ball rolling, we want to hear from the chairman of Uganda National Teachers Union, please. Can you take the podium and take us through the issues that are affecting the teachers in general? Thank you.
I'm Margaret Namubiru Mrs. Rabshija, the representative of the people. Colleagues and friends, Madam Speaker, there are many issues, but I can say in summary that as we talk today, there is a problem, particularly as far as quality of education is concerned. When we talk about quality of education, we are generally looking at the learning and teaching in this country. What are the challenges? I can say the challenges are very many. Some of the challenges that we have is that there is the issue that has been raised, but it originates from somewhere. That's the teachers' salaries. That's one of the issues. But also, we have many other issues. The shortage of accommodation. I can say that 95% of the teaching force in this country are not housed, and people don't know even where they come from to attend to classes. Then we have also other issues. Do we have enough scholastic materials? Many times people don't even have chalk and they are teaching. You have seen children seated down and they are writing examinations on the mats. Then we have also seen that the textbooks are lacking.
Issues are supposed to be addressed by government.
Yeah, they are lacking. Then we also have other issues of inspectorate. We have also issues of inspectorate because the department is underfunded, so they don't have enough time and resources to move around.
The schools are not being inspected at all.
I can say I say that there is a shortage of inspectors,
and they are not
adequately funded. The department is not adequately funded.
Of course, if there is no funding, then they will have no money to move around to inspect the schools. Is that the general situation in the schools, teachers? All right, go ahead.
So I can say that because of the unmet demands of the teachers, we also have the teachers are poorly motivated because of the unmet demands. So in summary, I can say, though, that some of the issues The list is long, but those are some of the major
Very
issues.
important challenges
Yeah.
that you're facing as teachers.
Yeah, I think-
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member. Let me have somebody from government. Please, we have the Public Relations Manager of the Ministry of Education. Can you take the podium and tell us actually what is government doing, or what has government done to ensure that the welfare of teachers is addressed? As you have seen, the chairperson of the Uganda National Teachers Union has outlined many challenges that they're facing. What have you done, or what are you doing to address these issues? Thank you.
These issues that have been raised here by the leader of the teachers are very pertinent issues that neither of us can run away from. The other thing that must be quickly highlighted here is that the education sector of Uganda is like a big boat. I've said this many times. It's like a big boat that is headed somewhere and yet is still under construction. We've not yet achieved that ideal state where everything is going to be the way everyone wants it to be. We've not yet got to that point, but we're headed there, and we are working with you, the stakeholders, we are working with you, the teachers, rowing this boat towards where we all want education to be in Uganda. So government is doing a number of things which shall be further on explained, but I would like to say that about the issues to do with the teacher's salary that has been raised, which is the key pertinent issue right now. The issues are being tabled before government, and as the spokesperson of Ministry of Education, I would like to state that Ministry of Education is with the teachers. Ministry of Education is there because the teachers are there, and we are doing everything within our power to see how best we can represent you at the wider government level.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member. Okay, you have the floor, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name's Amado Isaac, and I'm from just Chibuli here. I'm a parent. The government has said that it does not have money. I've heard the president say that very much, but let us ask ourselves, where is the money going? Look around, see money being lost, billions of monies given to Basaja Balaba, 147 billions, and the teachers are getting 24 billions for their circles. Hello? And you're saying we do not have money? Is that being serious?
Let's hear from you, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Emperor Napoleon at one time routed the whole of Europe. Not that he had the best army, nor that did he have the best tools, but the tool he was using was motivation. He motivated his army. Madam Speaker, the army which the Ministry of Education carries, the teachers are at all time lowly motivated. Man does not live on bread alone, but motivation is not all about money. Motivation is all about giving the required elements for the job to get it done and satisfactorily well. And once you do it, even when you don't have the money, you are very comfortable and things move well. Madam Speaker, the chairperson of the teachers said, performance quality is at its lowest. Madam Speaker, the quality of the learning in East Africa, Uganda is at 35. Kenya is at 75. Tanzania is at 85. Where are we going? Madam Speaker, this is a very, very big house that will determine policy, that will influence the actions of this country. Madam Speaker, the children who are in these schools where the quality is lowest are the children of the poor who don't have the means to take their children in the international schools, in the schools where there is a car for every child. Madam Speaker, if you went down to some of these schools where they have 2,000 children, every morning you'll find 2,000 cars. And that is why the jam is in Kampala.
Okay.
So we need to get something done to make sure that, one, we influence and motivate these teachers to get things done in order to stabilize the education, in order to redistribute the children in the schools where they're supposed to be, and not concentrate in the centers only for the rich.
As teachers, what are we doing about absenteeism in schools?
The national chairperson raised it very well, that inspection is not well facilitated. In 1995, the government of Uganda came up with a program called TDMS. They put CCTs in the fields to help teachers, to support teachers, but they are not well facilitated. Inspectors cannot go there. The head teachers are not there. The teachers, sometimes you just look at the teachers and say, if a teacher has to go and dig, look for food, because he's underpaid, what do you want the teachers to do, ladies and gentlemen? Honorable Speaker, I want to say that much as the teachers are not well motivated, once the teachers' demands are not met, teachers are not going to be effectively on duty. And recently, the government was saying teachers should go and attend schools. I mean, going to school is not teaching. I mean, if you want to push the teacher to be at the school, when you have not facilitated him or her, how do you expect him to teach effectively? So, Madam Speaker and honorable members, let us push the government. We want our demands. It irks me a lot to hear the government saying that doesn't have the money, yet they are increasing members of parliament, more constituencies, more RDCs, more districts. Where are they going to get the money to pay all those people? Do we need a big parliament like this? How many MPs should make laws for the country? Why is the government spending on unimportant issues and leaving the important issues?
Thank you. So they should cut down on parliament and increase teachers' salaries and work on their challenges. Thank you, Honourable Member. Yes, you have the platform.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I am Honorable Lena Zedriga Waru. I represent the constituency of the Women, Peace and Security, that is the Regional Associates for Community Initiatives. I'm also a lecturer myself, having grown through that ladder, and also I'm a lawyer and a retired magistrate by choice. Madam Speaker, the issue of the teachers is an issue of life and death. It's an issue of peace and security and stability of our nation. It's an issue that we must handle very urgently. When we look at a teacher just demanding for an increment such that the minimum to be paid is 500,000. I have 5 children myself, Madam Speaker, that I have been going through schools. Thank God 3 have finished. The last born is in Budo. Madam Speaker, 2 weeks ago they went back to school. I had to part with 2 million shillings to get my son to senior 5, second term. School fees 1.2.
You are okay. What about
So
it?
I am saying this because if I remained as a primary teacher, demanding yet, not even touching the 500,000, then I know the fate of my own child is at stake. Where are you pushing me as a teacher? In Arua, in Vura. Those who cannot cope with this pressure have an uncomfortable way of coping with drinking. I was in Arua last week. A headmaster was too drunk at 11 a.m.
Where do they get money?
So to the extent this is reflected, the poor salaries is reflected in the performance and the quality of the citizens of Uganda. So what kind of citizens are we releasing if we do not cater for the teachers? The salaries must be increased holistically.
Okay, thank you, Honourable Member. You have heard the teachers. The teachers are speaking. The people who are teaching the nation are tabling issues that affect their everyday life, that affect their work. Leaders that be, keep your ear on the ground. Let's go for a short break. And when we come back, we are going to hear more from the parents and from more teachers. Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kampala, discussing issues that affect teachers. And I've mentioned them: lack of accommodation, scholastic materials. There is absenteeism in schools. I have asked them what are they doing about it. But Honourable Member, you have the platform. What affects you as a teacher?
Madam Speaker and honourable members, there are quite a number of issues that affect me and my colleagues as teachers. First of all, when you look at the salary a teacher gets, 408,000 shillings. Government calls it consolidated salary, meaning I must get transport from that amount of money. I must get accommodation from that money. I must get medication from that money. I must get any other basic necessity for myself, my family, and dependents. As a teacher, I find it quite difficult to cope with life with that amount of money, which some of Ugandans cannot even have that money for breakfast.
Sure.
To make matters worse, even that salary sometimes does not come. You find a teacher disappearing on payroll, no communication, no what. This money comes through your hands as a teacher. And all of a sudden you go to the account, you don't find anything. And they expect you to be in class. If I am absent, what has caused my absence from school? I am aware I am supposed to be in school. But because of unavoidable circumstances, I cannot appear in school. If, for example, I have gone to the bank account, I don't find my salary. I am supposed to take my child to school. No money, no food at home. We have teachers whose families have broken. Simply because you disappear from the payroll, no money, the home expects money. I want to give you a scenario. In Kawempe here, a teacher was deleted after being transferred to Kazo Primary School. This teacher was commuting from Zambia to Kazo on a daily basis for a full term. The landlord is threatening to throw you out of the house. Your children have been sent away from school because they cannot pay the school dues, and you convince yourself and other Ugandans that this teacher will go to class and teach. Impossible. Teaching is psychological.
Thank you.
Unless you are psychologically prepared, you will be physically present in the school, but teaching and learning will never take place, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Thank you. Mr. Piarao.
Now, I'll start by just hinting on what the Honourable Member has just said, the representative from UNATU, about teachers being deleted suddenly off their accounts. We are aware of such incidences.
What happens? Who does that?
What happens is that two things happen. The payroll works together with the banks. So many times when changes are being made on the payroll, when there is a pay change that occurs, if a name that is being registered in a new station does not match the one in the bank, the money will not land on the account. This needs to be reported.
So where should the teachers go when such scenarios happen?
The information is communicated to the cows, who then communicate to the DOs, who also communicate to the teachers. Then to carry on, of course, as I said earlier, there are ideal situations.
There's somebody challenging you. Please, this honourable member, what are you trying to challenge from the PR, from the Minister of Education?
The problem with our Ministry of Education or the government, they have failed to diagnose the problem and the system under which they are operating. I will tell you that we have made recommendations as NOTU and UNATU. We told them we need one-stop center where all the teachers can report.
From throughout the country or put different of
Yes,
them in
because
different
let me
regions.
tell you a scenario. Minister of Education in charge of human resource and so on. The teacher's payroll is in Minister of Public Service.
Yes.
Now, payment of money comes from Minister of Finance. Now, there's not a coordination among these ministries.
Is that true that you have no coordination?
Oh, well, there's certainly coordination. That's why people are paid those
Madam
ones.
Speaker, let me add something to tell you. You know, some of these things is scientific. We need to sit down and look at the whole structure of government, how it operates. The money we are talking about, the 10%, was moving in the budget process until somebody, either from Minister of Finance or Public Service or Education, it can even be a minister, just say remove that. We don't want it. Now you find that these 2, 3 bodies or 5 bodies, because the teachers are paid by local government, the money comes from finance, the administration is Minister of Education, Public Service is doing another thing. Are you getting that kind of Katogo kind of administration?
So that's part
We
of the
need to
problem.
diagnose the problem, where the problem is. We are just now tackling
Okay, thank you.
something.
Thank you. I think you have heard you need a one-stop center where teachers can collect their views. Go ahead and finish your...
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Were. What he said is something that is pertinent, and it's something that is being looked into, and I believe that there will be a positive outcome.
Go ahead, silence in the House, honorable members.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, dear honorable members, I would like to quickly say that government has not decided that they will not have anything to do with teachers or not care about teachers. Many other things that I would like to quickly highlight have also been put in place for teachers, which I know many of you will have a lot to say about. For instance, we all know that there is a huge fund of 25 billion that has been put aside. Madam Speaker, I request kindly...
You're protected, please. Silence in the House, honorable members. You're protected. Let him outline what government has in place for the teachers. Then you will have your say, please.
I just want you to know that government has done things for the teacher. Capitation grant remittances, for instance, are now such that the money has been increased from 7,000 to 10,000 and will be effected this coming financial year per child. The other thing that has happened is for all science teachers, capitation grants. Yes, the capitation grant that's given to teachers. Yes, so then the other thing that is happening right now is that the allowances for science teachers are being paid. Each science teacher is being paid 30,000 on top of.
How much?
30%, sorry, not 30,000. 30% of their pay is what they are receiving. Then the teachers who are also
Are they already receiving it?
Yeah, many are. Many are. Selective. Yes, many are. No, it's not selective. Many are receiving it. Then the
Who
other...
is a science teacher here? Gonza, you're a science teacher. Come and give us information about your allowance for science teachers, please.
Thank you, Honorable
Have you
Speaker.
got 30% increment as a science teacher?
Some teachers have got the 30%, but
Good.
some, for example, in the national teacher training colleges, in the technical institutions, including some in secondary, have not yet got their 30%.
So what category has got? Primary teachers and secondary teachers?
Secondary have got, but like I've mentioned, there are some teachers who have not got, and the UNATO has compiled a list of those in the National Teacher Training College,
Okay.
technical, and also
I
secondary.
think government is moving step by step. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Then 30% again is being paid to all teachers who are rendering their services in hard-to-reach areas.
30%.
30% in hard-to-reach areas. And these areas have been defined and stated by Ministry of Public Service, and these are still being defined. Then the salary areas for teachers that have been hanging for a very, very long time. Those of you who had been serving for a long time without salary, the teachers now have largely received their payment. The salary areas we're talking about here are of verified teachers, teachers who have been verified for payment of arrears.
Okay.
And the lists have already been shared with the leadership of UNATO. They have been handed over for them to go through the lists and confirm whether the members of the teaching force are on or not. And this information is going to be given back to government.
Okay, thank you. Have you, please wind up. You have.
I would also like to say that there is currently operationalization of the teachers' scheme of service, which is ongoing. This operationalization is what...
You are protected?
Yes. This scheme of service, what government has in mind over here is such that teachers who have been serving, for instance, as education officers, can then be promoted to senior education officer, later on principal education officer, so that they even realize an increased pay for salary realization. Then the last one is, the last one among others is the construction of teachers' houses, which is currently underway. This is under the scheme, under the school facilities grant that we are all aware of.
Has it taken off?
Yes, it has taken off.
From where?
I will obtain the statistics shortly. I'll obtain the statistics shortly. But what is happening is that this is actually happening, and it's being done. It's being done.
Silence in the House, honourable members. Order.
This is being done in a phased way, and very, very respectfully, I would like you to know that Ministry of Education, with government, is on the side of the teachers.
Thank you. Thank you. You have heard the benefits from government. They are immense and they are too many, but we are focusing on salaries. Please.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable members, though we are focusing on salary, but there are so many things that must be addressed.
I agree with you.
If we are to have quality education in our country. I've been so disappointed by our mother ministry. From here you say, you are with us. When we move outside there, you are somewhere else. You have talked of the 25 billion. Colleagues, it is UNATU that made His Excellency to supplement the welfare of the teachers. Because when we went to him to request for the 100%, he didn't have it at that time. He said, let me do ABCD so that we can keep moving.
Honorable member,
up to today, madam.
I'm speaking. Honorable member, as the Microfinance Support Center was in Parliament last week, and they gave information that the SACCO money has already been dispersed, and about 1.6 billion.
You are talking to the right person.
Yes.
As much as I'm a chairperson of a branch and a head teacher, I'm the chairperson of the SACCOs. They are saying that they got the money. I'm here to clarify, we have never got the money for the teachers fund from Microfinance Support Center. The teachers matter a lot because everyone has the feel of the what? Everyone is proud in this country because the teachers did their work.
You have 2 minutes, honorable member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Kaija Harrod, an activist. I've ever been a teacher and then also left and went and changed profession because of how they are treated. Just last week...
Don't incite the teachers to leave their profession.
Madam Speaker, Gan visits most of the border stages and talked to some of those guys. Most of them are former teachers. Guys driving taxis, talk to them, they're former teachers. Go to Chikubo or Wino, you'll find teachers there. You ask them the reason why they are there, it's because they could not make ends meet while sitting in what? In classes. I've been made to understand that the teachers are 170,000 Ugandans, that profession. Just the other week, last week, the papers gave us a list of the people who are highly paid in this country. Public servants, not private servants, private companies. But the least person paid in the Bank of Uganda earns 1.41 million Uganda shillings. The least. Who is that person? The person who cleans, one who give papers to move it from one place to another. I'm meant to understand that the teachers are campaigning for 38,000. 38,000. That is why Mr. Museveni said the other day, I don't have it. When the MPs wanted a 40% increase, it is there.
But it's not there. It's not there. They have not increased their salary.
Madam
There's
Speaker,
no salary increment in
Madam
Parliament.
Speaker, for me, I'm telling you, I am where it is there. The reason why they're telling it's not there, they don't want the public to do what? To rise up. I want to tell you that the situation in this country of the plight of the teachers is by design. I like the way the PRO speaks. He speaks like a real PRO. I'll employ him in any PR organization. We've been discussing it. The man they quoted here, Napoleon Bonaparte, one time said that I don't fear 10,000 men with guns. I fear one man with a pen and a paper. When people are not educated, the way they rationalize issues and make decisions is not the way others, what? They have been telling you of the jam of schools. In nursery schools, Madam Speaker, in Kampala, pay 1.5 million. So those people who are meant to make decisions for the teachers, that's where they take their kids. When you go to Kenya, I remember in 2007 when they had issues.
Honourable Member, because of time constraints, I will give you an opportunity. Let's go for a short break. And when we come back, you are going to continue hearing from teachers because there are very many issues that affect their profession. Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, the only platform that gives you an opportunity to have your say on issues that affect your community, that affect your country, or affect your life. We are discussing issues of the teachers, what government is doing to address the welfare of teachers. But as we talk about the welfare of teachers, honorable members, what do you think as teachers? What is our responsibility to improve the quality of education in the schools where we have been posted to? Honorable member, you have the floor.
Who of you want to go where there is discomfort? In science, when you find the air moving, it moves from where there is high pressure to where there is low pressure. And by the way, it is not for nothing. It is also by design. Absent means a pattern in the parliament where the laws are being made. What can a politician do? I want to say a little, I want to make this. Jesus said, they have the ears, but they don't hear. They have the eyes, but they don't see. Our leaders have the ears, but they don't listen. They have the eye, they don't see. Why is it that if everything is okay, when a learner is going to the school, he has to carry a ream of paper, toilet paper? What indicators? We look for indicators. If you find your children after meal are going to climb a mango tree, what does it say? After breakfast, they are going to climb a pawpaw tree. That is an indicator of dissatisfaction in the system. By the way, every country, the nation is a product of its education system. If we want to be the people who enjoy and put our heads up in East Africa or in the world, we must look at the education system. And who are the managers of the education system? The teachers. Where are they standing? The teachers are the fuel, the teachers are the police, the teachers are the tools. I want to go to my constituents. You never asked me to introduce myself. I'm Nanko Kiletas, represent the constituents of teacher education. I'm a teacher trainer. For the last 28 years I've trained teachers. I have never recruited, never met a student from Budo, from King's College, from Kisubi, from another high places of learning, joining the primary teachers college.
Which places are they coming from then?
They come from the third world schools. And those who have failed. They come
from? Where are they coming from?
These schools which are neglected in where the poor go.
Yes, you have a platform, honorable member. What do you think teachers can do to improve the standard, the quality of education in this country?
Well, Honorable Speaker, My name is Leandro Komakech. I'm a senior researcher at the School of Law, Makerere University. And of course, a professional teacher. I grew up as a son of a teacher. So I speak from my heart what it means to be a son of a teacher who experienced life in a school quarter.
It's good that you have been a successful
So
man.
I get back to your statement that what should the teachers do to improve their quality? I think it should be upside down. That for us to begin even thinking about making quality education in Uganda, I think we need to revise the philosophy of education in Uganda. When you look at education today, there is need to revisit the Kajubi report of 1989. From where we should begin the journey to look at from 1989 to 2015, where is education in Uganda? If you look at Singapore, Malaysia, and all these countries in the West, they came and studied the National Development Plan of Uganda of 1969. And that is what they use for the development of what we call the tiger economies of the Eastern Asia. And that means that these countries do not have minerals. They only have labor. Education has been at the core of developing the human being that we talk about. So how do we have 35 million Ugandans without quality that cannot sell in any country? And that is what we should do. When the teachers are demanding, it is not because they hate the government. It is not because they do not see the vision of this country. I think they are demanding because they deserve to teach better quality citizens in this country. That is why you can see indicators today. People are rushing for positions of leadership, but with completely low quality of input and output. And that is where we are going wrong. Those are bad indicators of governance in the country. In the early times, if you were not a teacher in 1962, very few went to parliament. Fundamentally, 80% of Ugandan parliament were teachers in 1962. That meant they had the vision for the country. They had the quality to provide for the country. But today, as we stand, it looks as if instead of going through schools, schools are going through citizens. and that is why we need to pause as a country and say, where are we? And that is what comes as I conclude, Madam Chairperson, that education in Uganda is what we call in mathematics a common denominator, or a fulcrum in first-class lever, for those who did science in early times. And therefore, if we cannot put education as a common denominator of determining all that go through, then I don't think we deserve to be called a nation. And therefore, this is where we should diagnose the problem of the country is bigger than the Ministry of Education.
Okay. Thank you.
We also need to assert, just as I say, lastly, that for anyone to manage education in Uganda, we must be professionally qualified. We also advise the President of Uganda through this channel that for anyone to run the education sector should be people who are publicly vetted and respected in this country and take the heart of developing this country with the kindness.
Okay,
and this is where we need to go, countrymen. I thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable.
That government today is proud to bring out the issues that were raised by the teachers in certain forums, and they're implementing them with pride. What an irony. Okay? Today they are saying we have improved on the science, the teacher allowance. They are talking about building structures. All these points have been, we have talked with government, we have interfaced with government at different forums. And these are the things we have agreed upon. Indeed, that way we are contributing to the development of education system in our country. But allow me to say, Madam Speaker, that as teachers of this country, I've made one observation. Probably there's one thing that the former teachers did not do. That was laying a firm foundation for proper governance of the future leaders of this country. And I think we shall look at that in detail in the due course, because we think our leadership today, by merely focusing on what they need as their personal needs, may be lacking something in governance. Maybe there's a component that's missing in our education system that did not address how would governance in this country be able to achieve the general development. Why won't they focus on the teacher? Why don't they focus on the labor force itself? Is the economy going to improve just from out of nowhere?
Okay.
I remain Musaz William, a proud teacher.
Thank you. Thank you, proud teacher. Yes, you have the platform.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'll speak on 3 accords. First and foremost, as a former guild president of Kyambogo University, as a teacher, and thirdly, as a son of a teacher, though she left and
Which
joined the
school
mainstream.
did you teach? You look like,
I taught in St. Chizito Kabo on Entebbe Road.
Okay.
Despite the fact that I was staying in Chireka and I had to trek every single day to go and teach.
Okay.
The issue of teachers' welfare is an issue that any sane human being should look at as an issue of life and death, as our colleague said here. But what we are having is a government that is not taking teachers as a serious priority to them. I admire the teacher's slogan, "The nation is because we are." And each time anyone looks or reads that statement, they should know that any state anywhere is built on the teachers themselves.
The language some of our government officials are using towards whatever is going on, standing and saying we have better priorities, that alone psychologically affects the teachers.
I'm by the name Doreen Aquare, and I'm talking as a student. I've grown up knowing that there are 3 parents on this planet. I have my first parent who treats me from the time of birth until I go to school. Then from school, I have the teachers who treat me from the time I leave school. Then the third parent is the world. After they teach me, what will I do to the world? If the teachers don't give me that knowledge, if they don't give me to strengthen me as the pillar of the world, how am I going to face the world?
The very first speaker here raised the issue of challenges in this country, challenges to education and quality education. Teachers' welfare goes beyond, in a school situation, goes beyond the teacher's pay. It includes a number of factors. I want to cite an example. The curriculum implementation. We have the thematic curriculum, for example, in a school situation. It was introduced. How well has it been facilitated? Apart from the teacher having a teacher's guide in the classroom, the rest of the facilities that were supposed to accompany the curriculum for implementation are nowhere to be seen. Is the teacher's welfare catered for in as far as implementation of that curriculum is concerned? 2, the representative of the ministry actually raised the issue of capitation grant.
You have about a minute. So
thank you. Capitation grant has been increased to 10,000, but it doesn't tell us for how long. And this is normally a gimmick that is being used. We have increased it to this. We have been on 7,000 shillings per year. This translates into 778 shillings per month to manage a child in a primary school curriculum, rather a primary school. Now, increment to 10,000 will translate into basically 1,000 shillings to manage a primary school child in a school per month. Can you imagine that? In a school which has a P4 class, for example, it has 4 streams and has about 450 children in that particular class. It is given around 65 copies of textbooks, say in science. How is the head teacher, how are the teachers going to use the 65 copies of that science in or amongst the 450 children in school, even if you were to have 65 in 4 streams, because every stream will be beyond 100 and the copies you have are only 65. So there are quite a number of factors that are impacting on the performance of the teacher.
Thank you, honorable members, for coming to this parliament to discuss issues that affect teachers, and when teachers are affected, the whole country is affected, right from the parent to the pupil or to the student down there. Because of time constraints and the importance of this topic, we cannot conclude it now. We need to come out, and yet we need to come out with solutions from teachers and solutions from government. I am Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of this Parliament, and with powers conferred upon me, I suspend this House until next week when we shall come and discuss solutions.
The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.